All right,
Look at
so this
Look at it.
picture is for the next scene we're about to narrate. Annie,
Sheesh.
you can see that you have changed your look a little,
Indeed.
just a little bit,
It's a bit creepy. A little creepy.
just a little bit.
Does this start with part 2, Reginald's gangly face?
Yes, yes.
Excellent.
So, how do we want to run this, guys?
Ooh.
Yeah, I've really kind of gone off the rails here. My boxy is beginning to show through a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. What do you think? You wanna play the characters, and I'll you two play characters. I'll narrate. How's that?
Sounds great.
Oh yeah.
Sounds great.
All right, unless Boxy comes out. As
Yeah, nobody's gonna be
take Boxy.
boxy but you.
All right. So this is just a little bit into the book, chapter 2, part 2. Oh man, you know what's really great about Everybody Loves Large Chests and doing it on Sound Booth Theater Live?
What?
I probably did 6 or 7 different Sound Booth Theater Lives with Everybody Loves Large Chests before we even started producing audiobooks together. Like before he even decided to publish on Amazon, like Everybody Loves Large Chests was the big hit thing that I would do for this show. So it's really nice to do it again for the new and improved Sound Booth Theater Live, and also to have you guys joining me on it. It's actually, it feels like a full circle type of thing. But here goes, part 2. Reginald's gangly face distorted back into his previous visage, which was plastered with a smug smirk. Normally, this was when fresh-faced doppelgangers threw themselves at his feet. They'd lavish him with praise, swear loyalty, and do whatever they could to get on his side. Of course, being a doppelganger himself, Reginald knew full well their goals were entirely self-serving, though he didn't blame them. It was a natural reaction when faced with someone who held their salvation in one hand, their destruction in the other. From his species' point of view, Reginald was the ideal. He was powerful, influential, wealthy, respected, and had an entire clandestine organization at his beck and call. What is the correct pronunciation of that word?
Clandestine.
Okay.
You got it.
I used to say clandestine, I guess.
Yeah.
It was only natural his less fortunate kin would seek the protection of such a successful individual, and he would gladly take them in, provided they did their part in furthering his secret society's agenda. This girl in front of him was surely no different. Kira Morgana had slipped into the same self-destructive pitfalls that all newbie gangers fell into. Once they realized personal trust and public approval increased their doppelganger levels, they all created outlandish characters that demanded attention. What they failed to consider was the attention would inevitably and rapidly lead to their discovery. The pup in front of Reginald was a stereotypical example of this flawed mindset. Kira's attention whoring was precisely what allowed the senior shapeshifters network to deduce her true nature. Thus, it stood to reason that the newbie would fall in line like usual. However, contrary to the banker's expectations, Kira was neither impressed nor relieved. Instead, she kept shaking in her boots and turned paler by the second.
That...
She stammered.
What is that? What the fuck are you?
You can drop the act now, kid,
Reginald insisted.
We've been investigating you for quite a while, so there's no question.
You're wrong!
He hit Kira with the back of his hand in a motion strong enough to be considered a punch.
Do not interrupt me, whelp.
The cat girl whimpered and winced while blood dribbled from her nose and mouth.
Yes, I get it.
Yes.
Reginald.
I get it. You're good at acting.
He rolled his eyes.
I'm not acting!
She growled through gritted teeth.
I don't know what kind of crap you have for a brain, but don't lump me in with your monsters. With you monsters.
The old doppelganger gave a long sigh, as he realized this youngling was one of those so-called method actors. They committed fully to their role, even in situations where it made no sense. It wasn't a bad habit to have, but he didn't want to deal with it. The only way to get through their self-imposed delusions was to forcefully tear down their facade. If they still refused to cooperate afterwards, he'd have them eliminated and be done with it.
Fine. I guess we'll have to do this the hard way.
Reginald nodded at Kay, prompting the man to sprout an extra arm from his right side. If it wasn't clear from the context, this confirmed he, too, was a shapeshifter. Kay unsheathed the dagger on his thigh and pressed it against his captive's cheek.
No! Let me go!
Kira started thrashing around and screaming again, but couldn't break from his hold on her shoulders and neck.
No, you idiot!
Reginald growled.
Not that hard way! You'll get the blood all over the carpet again.
Sorry, boss.
A visibly disappointed Kay sheathed his weapon and used the extra arm to pull out some rope from underneath his coat. He wrapped it tightly around the still yelling catgirl's torso and arms, then tied her to her seat before finally taking his hands off her. Boxy semi-seriously struggled against the rope and realized it was much tougher than it initially thought. The binding was of little use against a shapeshifter in the first place, but it wanted to see just how far it could take this as Kira as a sort of experiment. Either way, the monster already decided it wasn't going to submit to this stuck-up prick. Boxy T. Morningwood hated being under someone else's thumb more than anything. Its deal with the goddess of incomprehensibility was the lone exception, something it agreed to in a moment of weakness when it didn't have much choice. Plus, it had already come to terms with that arrangement since it was getting some tasty benefits out of it. On the whole, Boxy had very few complaints as to how the whole Hero of Chaos thing had turned out thus far. But Reginald wasn't as easygoing as Charlie. This guy seemed like a total control freak, and Boxy would rather eat its entire horde before it submitted to his self-appointed authority. That said, someone in the banker's position could be especially useful to it, hence why the monster waited to see how things played out. It considered how to take advantage of the situation while the two-faced banker walked around to his massive desk and opened up one of the drawers. From it, he pulled a thick metal baton with a handle covered in rubber made from bouncewood bark. The tip of the iron rod was adorned by a steel sphere the size of a small apple.
See this?
Reginald wiggled the device for emphasis.
A little marvel that I got my hands on a long time ago. It's called a stun stick, you see.
He pushed a little button at the base of the handle, causing the item in question to emit a low hum.
It was created with the intention of incapacitating people, but its output is far too low to take anyone down above level 30 or so. The worst it would do to an adventurer is to give them a nasty jolt. Maybe make them pee their pants a little. But to us doppelgangers, well, I'm sure I don't need to explain.
Boxy was well aware of the device. It was an Arclight Artificer design it had learned about from Fizzy. The former mimic was wary of being zapped by such contraptions, which was why it had spent several long nights talking with the golem about how to recognize, avoid, and counteract them. If its host wasn't trying to downplay the stun stick's output, then he simply didn't know how to use it. Reginald could be forgiven for his ignorance, however. Artificers were still a relatively new job that had yet to gain widespread appeal. It was common for people to have misconceptions and misunderstandings regarding their works. Plus, the little switch on the stun stick's handle that regulated the output looked broken and stuck on the lowest setting.
Please, don't hurt Rowie!
Boxy kept its smugness to itself while outwardly whimpering and crying as if Kira was at her wit's end.
Quite.
Reginald rolled his eyes.
Well then, let's see what you look like underneath all those fake tears.
He pressed the rounded tip of the device to the catgirl's cheek. Your target has been electrocuted. Target HP minus 163. Kira yelped, more out of surprise than pain.
What was that for?
Reginald was dumbfounded. He looked down at the stun stick in his hand and back to the perfectly healthy and unshifting beastkin. The stun stick was doing the extra bit of damage as expected, but his involuntary subject was still sobbing and jabbering without showing any adverse reaction. Not to be disheartened, he zapped her a second time. Your target has been electrocuted. Target HP minus 73.
Ow! Stop that!
This was incredibly perplexing. Not only did the damage drop down to nearly normal levels, but he never received the notification that his target had been stunned. He decided he'd try again to be sure. Your target has been electrocuted. Target HP minus 88.
Ouch!
The outcome did not change. Your target has been electrocuted. Target HP minus 80. The fourth attempt didn't fare much better.
What is this?
He exclaimed.
That's my line, you sick fuck!
The girl yelled angrily.
Do you take pleasure in toying with people?
Reginald ignored her and stepped closer to Kay.
What?
The underling asked warily.
Just need a control group.
Your target has been electrocuted. Target HP minus 203. The elf-shaped monster recoiled with a yelp while clutching his left shoulder, the spot that Reginald zapped. He muttered obscenities through gritted teeth as his left arm limply hung by his side. The hand poking out of his coat's long sleeve had turned thin, pitch black, and four-fingered. As expected, subjecting a shapeshifter to their elemental bane forced the unstable flesh to revert to its true form. The stun stick wasn't powerful enough to completely incapacitate the adult doppelganger, but it clearly had enough of a kick to reveal its true nature.
Seems to be in working order.
Reginald mumbled while ignoring Kay's pained groans.
So how come it doesn't do anything to the youngling?
The older doppelganger was aware of the possibility that a shapeshifter could be tough enough to shrug off a minor zap without adverse effects. The banker himself was already at that level. However, if Kira could withstand this, she would have also shrugged off the knockout gas his agents used on her. Kay hadn't reported any abnormalities or unforeseen incidents with the capture, so Reginald was unable to deduce exactly what was going on.
Perhaps it's a rare lightning-resistant variant of the species?
He mused aloud.
Mutations happen quite often with our kind, so it's far from impossible.
We're gonna skip this narration, and Annie, just skip to your next line.
I already told you I'm not one of you. I already told you I'm not one of you assholes.
Kira loudly insisted again.
No. We both know. That can't be.
Reginald confidently stated.
My information leaves zero doubt.
Information? What are you talking about? You've been stalking me?
We've been keeping an eye on you, yes. You thought no one would look into the simultaneous appearance of a loud-mouthed kitty and this ridiculous Sandman character. Not only was that vigilante somehow always around you, but also, my sources tell me, he used mirror image to shake off pursuers more than once. You may have fooled the ignorant, but all signs point to you two being one and the same. Only a doppelganger can shapeshift to that extent.
You're insane.
There's a lot more to it, of course.
He ignored the act.
For example, the way you leave your pheromones all over the place, they positively reek of a youngling, you know. I even have multiple reports that claim you have a habit of suddenly disappearing in dark alleys, after which a number of homeless people in the area go missing.
I don't know what you're talking about. There must be some mistake.
You were spotted climbing up and down that tree in some bizarre arachnid shape. I'll give you credit for that one, though. Very creative. Even my agents had a tough time confirming that form as one of yours until they spied it leaving that little shack of yours. The complete and total lack of background information on your...
Is this me?
Nope.
For fuck's sake, boss!
Kay, who had just recovered from being used as a test subject, suddenly voiced his displeasure.
Let's just do things my way, get it over with!
You know what? Fine!
Reginald threw his hands up.
I'm done playing nice. Go ahead and lop off an ear or two.
Finally.
And that's it. All right, we're gonna leave it there. No more spoil. Man, you made me want to cast you as this character. You seem to be having a good time.
Oh yeah, no, that's great. That was a fun one.
See, already people are getting that impression. We might as well do it. We might as well give you that character.
Hey, all right. Reginald. ELLC. What is this? 5? This is 5,
This
right?
is the 5th one.
The 5th.
Yes. Oh man, I can't wait to finish it and get it to you guys. I know how excited you are. I mean, the last one came out last year, wasn't it? Morgana?
Yeah. When did that come out? I'll do a little check on that. That was my first time actually, I think, reading. Maybe I've done one for SBTL before. But
yeah, last year. October last year.
Yeah, okay. That's really well done. That's a really fun scene.
Yes, and one more piece of news for everybody that's an Everybody Loves Large Chests fan. Book 6 is in the works already. Neven is working on it, and he said it's going to be the biggest one yet as far as size. He said it's like 200,000K or 200,000K, 200K, 200,000 words. So it's a big one. You guys are going to get
200,000 thousands.
200 million words in Everybody Loves Large Chests Volume 6. So expect a 20-day audiobook. But anyway, yes, no ETA, but we're looking at late November.
Hey, Jeff, are you going to be narrating this one in the Discord?
Maybe I should. I'll do that tonight. How's that? Anyone who's here, make sure to join our Discord channel tonight. Let's see, what time is it now? It is 8 o'clock my time. So let's say 10 Eastern. 10 Eastern, I'll be back in the booth. I'll be in there at least for an hour, and I will be narrating live. And actually, I think this scene is coming up in my narration. So
hey, there you go.
You'll get to actually hear how this scene ends.